Yo, what's going on, y'all? So I figured today I will go ahead and talk to you guys about my experiences when it comes to doing Uber. So I did Uber for a few weeks, and I want to go over a few of the pros and the cons when it comes to driving for Uber. And I also want to go over which is better, Uber or Lyft. And this is going to be based on my experiences with my Tesla Model Y. So before we get into this thing, I figured I would go ahead and go over the pros and cons when it comes to driving Lyft and Uber. So let's go ahead and get into it. The first thing that we're going to discuss is the process on getting started. So the process on getting started, Lyft versus Uber, I'm going to have to give that first one a draw. And the reason being is because you're going to pretty much have to do the exact same things when you sign up with Lyft and with Uber. They're going to ask for your driver's license. They're going to ask for proof of insurance. They're going to ask about your car. And it's going to take a few hours, maybe even a day, depending on how long it's going to take for you to be approved for Lyft and Uber. So that's actually a draw. So next thing is we're going to talk about the app, the overall app functionality. So when it comes down to it, I'm going to be honest with y'all. Lyft got it. Lyft got it hands freaking down, man. Uber is more like a dinosaur version. Lyft is more like a Tesla. Uber maybe has made some improvements, but it seems like it's a lot of things that they need to work on that they haven't. And I believe, or I feel like Lyft honestly has done that. A lot of issues that I honestly have with the Uber app is when I am navigating towards someone. Either I pull up to make a U-turn or I'll pull up to make a left. On the app, it would seem like I have already made that turn or already made that U-turn, and it confuses the freaking heck out of me, man. Uber, you got to do better when it comes to that, man. So app functionality actually goes to Lyft. If this is your first time starting off, you've never done Lyft, you've never done Uber, which one should you try first? Which one has the better promotion for first-time drivers? With Uber, if you're a first-time driver, I've seen somewhere where if you complete 200 trips, they were guaranteed that you at least earn $2,200. All right, so regardless of how much money you make, you're going to make at least $2,200 in 200 trips. Not bad. But when it comes to Lyft, you already know who's the winner when it comes to this. I've seen one promotion where it said, if you complete 180 trips, they guarantee you $3,000. Hands down, Lyft wins 10 times out of 10 when it comes to that. I want to say I even seen something that they were doing after 180 trips, they guarantee you $3,200. But $3,200, $3,000 for 180 trips, it's the clear winner here. It's going to be different for different areas. But in the Charlotte area, you're telling me I can sign up for an app, do 180 trips, and you guarantee that I'm going to make at least $3,000. And if I don't make $3,000, if I make $1,000, then they're going to pay me $2,000. It's a no-brainer. It's a no-brainer. Lyft got this one, guys. All right. So let's talk about hot spots and stuff around the city. If you guys don't know what that is, I call them hot spots because if you go onto the Uber or the Lyft app, in certain areas, they will actually pay you more to drive in those areas. So if you're in like a certain spot like downtown Charlotte or around the airport, they'll have like a plus $3, plus $5, plus $1.50, plus $2.25 in certain areas. So if you're in that area, they'll let you know, hey, you know, you're gonna earn an extra whatever for being in this area. Maybe there are areas that are in high demand and they need more drivers out there, so they're gonna pay you more to be in those areas. And when it comes to that, when it comes to the hot spots, all right, high demand areas, honestly, I'm gonna have to give that to Lyft. Reason being is because every time that I have gotten on the Lyft app, there is always a hot spot in Charlotte somewhere, no matter what time I log on. All right. With Uber, it's like a sometimes thing. Sometimes they have, you know, high demand areas where they'll pay you, and sometimes they just don't. I've literally gotten on there and didn't see anything. But when it comes to the amount, I've seen Uber go up as much as $9.25 to drive in certain areas at certain times, which is not the best area. So, you know, take that into consideration. But I still got to give it to Lyft, because when I'm thinking about consistency, the app that's the most consistent with providing that extra money, got to go with Lyft. Which app? There we go. I like to be in the center. All right. Which app? Which app is going to keep you busy? I've literally been downtown, or uptown, my bad, uptown Charlotte at night around the 8 o'clock range in uptown Charlotte on Lyft. And it literally took me over an hour to get a ride. What? Like, time is money, bro. Time is money. And people that want to earn money, like, keep me busy. Keep me busy. Keep those doggone rides coming in. And I'm going to be honest with you guys. I have never had that issue when it comes to Uber. If anything, Uber schedules too many doggone rides. No, but Uber is going to honestly keep you busy, man. They just keep, when you're on Uber, they keep coming in, man, which makes more sense why more people are on Uber. Oh, my goodness, man. This is going to honestly require for a little story time. All right, so y'all buckle up. Okay, so which one is better when it comes to customers? All right, customers. And I'm talking about, you know, when it comes to being rude versus being respectful. When it comes to Uber, guys, 99.99% of the people that use that Uber app are respectful people. And I'm not capping, I'm not trying to, this is not a sponsor for Uber in any type of way. Just honestly, it seems like dealing with Uber, people are a lot more respectful on the Uber app. When it comes to Lyft, man, we done had some stories, man. We done had some stories. Kids climbing all over the car, feet in the doggone seats. Look back there, you got mud, red mud spots. You know, again, people just allowing their children to run rabbit all over your stuff. No respect, you know, handprints and stuff on the windows. Like, come on, fam. This car is clean and I want to keep it that way. But one of the worst incidents came. Yo, what's going on, y'all? All right, so let's go ahead and get into story time. So this is what happened, right? So I get an alert. And the alert is on Wilkinson Boulevard. For the people that are in the Charlotte area, they already know what I'm talking about. Actually, it was the Family Dollar on Wilkinson Boulevard. So I pull up and I see a young lady. I see her, she see me. She see me, I see her. And I'm just like, man, I don't got a good feeling about this. I really do not have a good feeling about this. So anyway, so she sees me and she's walking up to the car, but she's on her phone and her daughter is with her. And so, you know, when my doors are shut, my windows are wound up, it's kind of hard for me to hear. I can tell that she was having a conversation on the phone. So she opens up the door. She greets me, she says, hey. She gets on the phone and starts yelling, my bad, screaming.
Manipulator, you damn wish you would have played your cards right with me, you asshole!
Like, you're not gonna sit here and do this the whole time while we're driving, are you? It's like a 40-minute trip and she has a stop, all right? So she's yelling and screaming on the way to the first stop. She's still yelling and screaming to her girlfriend on the phone. They're yelling at each other about a freaking tire. Anyway, they're going back and forth. And so we get close to her first stop. And she tells me, she was like, hey, you know, she stops talking for a second. Hey, can you pull up a little bit to those suspicious looking apartments? Huh? Can you pull up a little bit to those apartments up there? Looking at the bus. I know, you know, I know I got you going all over the place. I apologize, whatever, blah, blah, blah. Like, okay, all right, cool. Pull up. Again, I'm new to this, so I don't know. The customer is always right? I don't know. So I pull up, you know what I'm saying? And we in the hood, which, you know, I'm cool with that or what now. I'm cool with being in the hood. That don't frighten me. Anyway, so, you know, all the kids are coming around. Oh my God, a Tesla, whatever. Not tripping about that, you know. Cool. We pull up. She gets out the car. She leaves her daughter in the car, and she greets a gentleman, and they walk to the back of the apartments. Okay. About almost 5 minutes later, she comes back with the guy. She got a big smile on her face. I don't know what just took place. I don't know. I don't know. So she gets back into the car, and now we're driving to her final destination. So she gets back on the phone, yelling and screaming at her girlfriend about the same issue that they just got done talking about, which is that doggone tire. It was something about the tire had like a titty on it, and she was trying to explain to her girlfriend that it was dangerous, but her girlfriend didn't want to listen. I had to listen to the same back and forth conversation for the whole entire duration of this trip. Anyway, they finally hang up. Cool. At least the last 3 minutes, we'll get some little peace and quiet or whatever. So she gets off the phone, and, she just thanks me. She apologizes. Okay. Cool. I appreciate that. All is forgiven. You know what I'm saying? It's all good. But no, she's like, no, thank you. Thank you. Because listen, the reason why I had you pull up a little bit more and go into those apartments because my weed man don't like nobody know where he stay. Yo, what? Yo, weed man. Man, my weed man don't like people to know where he stays. Fam. You got me doing, come on, man. Like, you could have kept that mess to yourself. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want to be a part of this, man. All right, it's time for you to skedaddle, man. It's time for you to go. So she gets out the car, man. I was just like, yo, I'm not doing Lyft anymore. Y'all trying to set somebody up. I'm done. When it comes to customers, honestly, guys, again, it was a few different incidents that happened with Lyft. Don't have to worry about that with Uber, man. Everybody that has gotten in this doggone car with Uber has honestly been cool, right? Except for this one lady, that gave me a bad review telling me I was speeding. I don't speed. Like, come on, man. But, again, that's just a one-time thing, man. So, I'm not tripping. When it comes to customers, got to give this an Uber. Let's talk tips, all right? That's a part of getting money. That's a big part of earning money with these apps, tips. So let's talk about it. So when it comes to Lyft, they don't really tip you that much with Lyft, man. Lyft is it's so crazy because I did Lyft first. And I'm going to be honest with you. People rarely tipped me on Lyft. And if they did tip, it wasn't that much. If I'm being honest with you, it wasn't that much. As you guys can see, this is what, about 50 rides in, this is what I earned in tips. Now let's talk Uber on the other hand. Uber was a different ball game, man. It was a lot of times I didn't really realize how much money I was earning because, again, that wasn't really the focus with this whole thing. I mean, made money, cool. But it was one time when I had to cash out and I had like $800. I was like, yo, where the heck did all this money come from? It was a few different things that kind of played a part in that. And tips was one of those things. It honestly seems like when it comes to Uber, people tip all the time. Like, seriously. I'm constantly always getting $3 to $5 tips. I was seeing a lot of $6, $7, $15, even $20 tips when I was doing Uber. Uber tips are way beyond those tips that I was getting from Lyft. I actually had a better rating when it comes to driving on Lyft than I did with Uber, which is crazy. So all in all, when it all boils down to it, guys, I'm going to have to give the tip check mark to Uber. Uber gets the check mark when it comes to tips, man. I mean, and that's hands down, that's across the board. You're gonna earn a lot more money on Uber when it comes to tips because they will tip you often and they will tip you more. So the next thing we're gonna talk about is, this is something that Uber needs to work on. Lyft does an absolute great job with this, and that's keeping you in a certain area. So if you want to be downtown Charlotte, you can be downtown Charlotte without having to worry about anything. Like, you can literally put in a certain area on the Lyft app. I was not able to do that with Uber. Man, let me tell you something. Uber will have you in New Mexico somewhere. Seriously, you can start off in California and end up in New Mexico, London, or somewhere else, man. Uber is going to have you all over the place. If you want to stay within a specific area, then go with Lyft. Uber, you fumbled the bag with that one. All right, let me make sure I'm going the right way. Ooh, how long is that? That's a long trip, brother. That's a long trip, brother, but it's all good. But yeah, got to give it to Lyft when it comes to that, man. Lyft does a fantastic job with keeping you in a certain area. Beautiful. I was all over the place with Uber. All over the place with Uber. At least with Lyft, they give you options. You can either do, pretty much all over the city or whatever, or you can stay within a certain area. Uber just doesn't offer that. Lyft does. Last but not least, before we get into the rest of the video, I want to talk to you guys about one of the most important things when it comes to these apps. And I believe this is what really sets these apps apart. Promotions. Promotions. And I'm going to tell you right now, it's not even what you think. Promotions. When it comes to Lyft has a great promotion in the beginning. I mean, Uber is not touching it. I mean, it's not even close. $3,000 for 180 rides. Guaranteed you can't beat it. You cannot beat it. But when it comes to weekly, like weekdays and weekend promotions, Uber is killing the game. They are killing the game. During the week, they offer promotions like if you get 20, 30, or 40 rides, then you get a bonus of like 60, 70, maybe $80 during the weekday. On the weekends, every single last weekend that I did Uber, and even now, they are still sending me these promotions. They give you, if you're doing Uber or Uber Eats, 20, 30, or 40 trips, they will give you an additional, it's I want to say 70, 90, and $120 or something like that. That's what you earn on top of whatever you made. So they'll give you, if you made $300, then after you completed those 40 trips, they'll give you an additional $140 for completing those 40 trips. And if you complete 10 rides after that 40 trips, then they'll add an extra $20 or $30 on top of that. So you just earned $170 on top of those 50 trips that you just made, or those 50 trips you just had where you earn maybe $400 or $500. When it comes to, they actually call their promotions Quest. You have to of course sign up or approve or whatever that request. Like if you're gonna do it for the week, then you would have to go ahead and click on that Sunday night, and then from Monday through Thursday, you have to complete those 20, 30, or 40 trips, whatever you clicked on, sign up for, whatever. That's the quest that you have to complete in order to get that money. All right, so if it's on Friday, then Thursday before 4 a.m., you need to go ahead and let them know what you're going to be doing for the weekend, which is Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Friday morning, all right, after 12 a.m. is Friday morning. So Friday morning at 4 a.m., that's when the quest starts. And then Monday morning at 4 a.m., that's when the quest ends. So that means that you would have roughly about 3 days to complete that quest. Get those 20, 30, 40 trips, or if you want to do the plus 10, those 50 trips, and you will earn an additional $170 or whatever you sign up for. When I tell you guys, this really sets these apps apart. I'm not getting paid to say this, but you earn so much more money because of those quests. That really sets that Uber app apart. from Lyft. Now I want to get into what my experience was like as far as driving in the inside of a Tesla, because when it comes to driving an EV, when it comes to doing these ride shares like Lyft and Uber, it's completely different from people that have those gas cars. Completely freaking different. So we're gonna go ahead and get into that, all right? So let's go ahead and address the elephant in the room. So you guys know that a Tesla doesn't use gas. It's fully electric. So we don't have to gas up like everybody else, but you do have to charge. There are pros and cons when it comes to charging. So there are 3 different ways you can charge a Tesla. Tesla used to give you the slow charging to come with your car. That'll get you a few miles per hour. And depending on where your battery is, it may take you a full day to charge. You're more than welcome to charge up at one of these third-party charging stations, but it's completely free. But as you guys seen, it's gonna take us about 2 or 3 hours to get a decent charge, and we're at about 40-something% right now. Again, that is free. Now, if you want to supercharge your car, that's gonna cost you a couple of bucks, maybe somewhere between $8 to $12, depending on where you are. It's roughly around $12 where I'm located right now. That'll actually get you up to about 90%, 80 or 90% in about 25 to 35 minutes. So charging is going to depend on what you want to do. So I only recommend 2. If you want to fast charge, then of course go to a Tesla supercharger, and that'll get you back on the road as quickly as possible. It'll give you enough time to take a restroom break, get you something to eat, and get right back on the road. That's gonna take about 25 to 35 minutes to get you to an 80 or a 90% charge, and that'll get you right back on the road to help you possibly make as much money as possible. Now, if you do third-party charging, where it's gonna be free, then you have a few options, because these third-party charging stations are located all over the city. They have them at some gyms, so you can get a workout in. They have them at some of those supermarkets like Publix, so you can go ahead and do a little bit of food shopping. They have them at libraries if you want to get a little study in. They are located all over, and they are free. They just take a little bit longer to get you a decent charge. Those would be the 2 that I would recommend. Now, I actually did both. Some days I felt like getting right back out there. Other days I had things that I had to do, but that did not slow me down from doing the things that I had to do that day. Whether it was food shopping, whether it was getting a workout in, whether it was getting some editing or whatever done, I made sure that I used my time wisely. But I do understand that most people may want to get back out there and earn as much money as possible. But I found that it was still a lot cheaper to be inside of my Tesla Model Y rather than to actually be in a regular gas car. Yes, you save more money when it comes to gas and everything, but it's going to take a little bit more time for you to get back on the road if you're in the inside of an EV. But besides that, honestly, I believe that everything else is pretty much the same. I had a lot of people ask me about like my EV, so it definitely made for really, really good conversation like during the drive. A lot of people are actually interested in the Tesla. A lot of people enjoy being in the inside of one. And I met a lot of dope people during testing out Uber and Lyft. I had a great time. This is probably something I would never do, but honestly, I'm glad that I actually got the opportunity and a chance to do it, because I met a lot of people. I even gained some new friends, some new contacts to do business and stuff with. I actually have a few videos that's going to be coming out with a few people that I actually met during this experience. So that was dope, man. It was dope. It was just an overall great experience, especially when it comes to doing Uber. But that's the end of this experiment, man. I had a great freaking time, man. The moment that you all have probably been waiting on, the end of this video. Which one do I recommend? Do I recommend Lyft or do I recommend Uber? I think it's pretty much a no-brainer, man. When it comes to Uber, I believe that people that are getting on here, they're trying to earn and make money. And I'm going to say Uber is going to be that choice 9 times out of 10. And even though it's going to have you pretty much go everywhere, even though the app may not be the best, you know, even though it does have its shortcomings, I still believe that Uber is still by far the superior of the 2 different apps when it comes to Lyft versus Uber. If you're honestly trying to make money, Uber is where it's at, because it's going to keep you busy. You're going to make a lot more money when it comes to Uber, especially when you're doing those quests during the week and on the weekends. You do have that option of just doing Uber or just doing Uber Eats, or you can do both and combine the two, and those go towards the quest. So I think that is a phenomenal and dope way to earn money, man. Really, really easy money. Yeah, so one more thing. I know you guys are probably like, yo, you have switched clothes and faces. You done switched it up. So it actually took me a little minute to finish with this video, man, because I've been doing a lot. I got a lot going on right now, man. That's the reason why this video took forever to make, because I had a lot of stuff going on and it was a lot of days that, you know, I got extremely busy. But that's the reason why y'all have been seeing me like in different days at different times of the day. I've been knocking out a lot of other stuff, but I am so thankful to finally finish this video. And I do want to say this: everybody don't respect your car the way you respect your car. So, you know, just keep that in mind for the people. Keep that in mind for the people that are thinking about doing Lyft and Uber, you know. Anyway, guys, that's the end of this video. Thank you guys so much for sticking in there with me, man, for the duration of this video. I know it was long. I apologize it took me so long to make it. Anyway, man, y'all be blessed. Y'all be beautiful, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.
Blueberry, Burberry, button-up. Tan skin, mixed race, buttercup. Canada weather, got a bundle up. I'm tryna work, she hit my phone, she wanna, whoa.